Hey guys, if you like watches or you like wearables, this is the right video for you. Stay tuned, and if you like it at the end, please feel free to click like or subscribe. We're going to have a good time. Okay, so leave and close the door. I'll try this again. Hey guys, Mike here. I am really trying to do this video a second time because the first time, one, it was completely out of focus. I don't think y'all want to watch me all blurry. And second, I had the microphone on mute. So after 2 takes, trying to get it done, I went to do the playback and all I see is just nothing, no sound. It's just screwed. Anyway, I'm back. Real short version of this. This is kind of, I don't want to say an unboxing video because I just unboxed it on the previous one, but it's an introduction video. A few things you know about me. One is I like mobile devices, right? iPhones, iPads, tablets, anything with a battery in it that you can take with you and either run apps or connect to a mobile network. It's what I do for a living and I genuinely enjoy it. Systems integration, servers, things of that nature. Again, stuff I like that I do for a living. Travel. I enjoy travel, and I'm blessed insofar as that I get to travel to different locations as part of my job. Now, what you probably did not know about Mike is that I also like to collect wristwatches. Now, I don't have the budget to collect these $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 devices as much as I would like to, and I aspire to collect to the $5,000 and $10,000 range. But for now, I just get what I can afford. And basically, at the end of this, I'm going to talk about 2 different wearable devices that I have experience with. But real quick, just a collection of the watches I have right now. Let's start with quartz watches. A quartz watch is basically an electronic watch that runs on a battery. They popularized by Japanese watchmakers, keep very accurate time. So 3 of them I have right now, and I'll start with this one. This is about $100 watch. It's nothing too special. It's a Kenneth Cole. I like it because it was given to me as a gift. Keeps good time. Not a bad looking timepiece. Watch face a little bit small for my wrist, but I like it. Continuing with the quartz watches, I have this one. It's an Esquire watch. It's a white face watch. Again, slightly small watch face. Esquire is a subsidiary of Movado, so it's basically a Movado watch. Kind of their entry level, sort of like between Chevy and Cadillac, right? If you look on the band, there's a company logo here. This was given to me for spending 10 years at a particular organization. So that's kind of nice. Again, that's maybe an $80 to $120 watch. Moving along, I have this one. I like this one very much for a couple of reasons. One, this is a Seiko, right? Looks very Movado-like. It's got a nice leather band. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but that's very, very thin. This was given to me as a gift by my spouse a number of years back. I think it looks good on my wrist. The thing about this one, and why I'm kind of impressed with it, is I was out working on a flower bed a number of years ago at my old house. And sometimes, you're working and you don't want to get your watch dirty, especially if you're in the dirt. You take it off and you put it down. And I must have forgot I put it down. And I don't know at what point I realized it was gone. But 3 years later, I found this thing buried in the dirt outside the house. The watch band was, of course, shot. It was still working. So I went in, got it cleaned up, got a new watch band put on. So this thing was out in the elements, rain, dirt, cold, hot. And it kept on working. Now it looks almost as good as new. There's a slight discoloration on the crystal. Not enough to really notice it. Got a little diamond at the top. But overall, I really like this, and it's lasted, and I'm very impressed with Seiko based on that. Now, continuing with my last of my quartz watches, I have this particular Seiko. This is a much heavier watch. This one's actually solar powered instead of battery. So the whole front face here is actually a solar panel that charges the watch. Now, again, this is not a $2,000 watch. This is, however, the one that is the most special to me because my daughter got it for me right around the time when she got her first job and she really couldn't afford to be buying anything. So just from that perspective, I would be heartbroken if I ever lost this. And that's the one I wear the most, by the way. Now, moving forward in the mechanical watches, a mechanical watch is basically one that as you move, it captures the kinetic energy and uses that to sort of wind it. So more of your high-end watches have that. Now, truth be told, I don't think they keep as good a time as your quartzes as your quartz watches. But they are really neat from an engineering perspective, and I admire them. So I've got 3 of those. I got this one here, which is a Tag Heuer. It's got a rubber band, so it's really much more of a sports watch. It's kind of thick. It's got a unique face to it. I don't wear this that often. I picked it up because I thought it was kind of neat, and I didn't have really one with a rubber strap. I anticipated wearing it a lot more, and I don't. But it's kind of a nice piece. I keep it. And the last 2 mechanicals I got this Breitling, which I like because it's got a big face. It's a white face, so it's much more of a dress watch. Also mechanical. I don't wear this one that often either, though, so it kind of looks good on my wrist as well. But it adds to the collection, right? So again, something else I anticipated wearing, and I haven't. And the other one that I wear, other than the one my daughter got me, that I wear more than any other of my traditional watches, is I've got this Rolex Submariner, and I like this. It's durable. It holds up nice. Very practical. Kind of looks good. It's waterproof, water resistant. It takes a beating. So I really like that watch. I'll probably keep that one for a very, very long time. Now, you're not here to talk about watches, so I'm just kind of sharing a little bit about myself. But let's go forward with wearables. The first wearable I ever bought was this thing I got on Groupon. It's a Galaxy Gear 2. So it's a square face, very similar to what an Apple Watch looks like. It's a good looking piece. I get a lot of compliments on it. Some unique things about this particular piece is it's got a camera on the front and an infrared controller, so you can use this as a TV remote, which is something Samsung had taken away from their phones starting with the Note 4. It does not run Android Wear. It runs Tizen. It only pairs with Samsung Galaxy phones. So it does not have the level of apps that Android Wear or even an Apple Watch has. So it's good for getting notifications. It's got a few basic apps on it. Somebody wrote this whimsical app that uses the infrared blaster. Basically, it's called Shut Off Everything. It actually works. Don't use it in a sports bar. Kind of awkward. Beyond that, I like it for its looks. I like it for the notifications on it. I like it because I got it for really cheap. I got it for like under $200. They don't make this one anymore. So fast forwarding, and by the way, I have members in this household that have Apple Watches, and they love it, and I played with them. I like it. It's got great apps. The main difference is the Apple Watch has to pair with an Apple device. The Galaxy watches, this one needs to pair with the Samsung Galaxy phone, and the newer ones just need to pair with an Android device. So, people are often asking, what's better, what better watch is there? Samsung, Android Wear, Apple Watch? Kind of depends on what your phone is, right? Are you planning on changing your phone based on your watch or your jewelry? If so, then go ahead and make that choice. If not, you're kind of limited to what you're going to pick. Now, I like watches not just because they're a gadget on your wrist. It's one of the few pieces of jewelry men can get away with wearing, and it makes a statement. Women have all these other options, and that's great. And I guess men can wear whatever they want, but for the most part, one of the things that men can really make a statement with is whatever watch they're wearing. Just me. I like it. I know some guys that are friends of mine that just refuse to put anything on their wrist. Also a valid option. They're like, I can tell time on my phone. Yeah, I can too. I just happen to like having something on my wrist that looks nice, makes a statement about punctuality, fashion sense, whatever. So that said, something I picked up today was this Samsung Gear S2, so the spiritual successor to this guy. Again, I did an unboxing a second ago on a video that's got absolutely no sound, so that was pointless. But inside the box, it basically, the watch is here, makes a nice presentation, right? Underneath, you got your cables and your documentation. Overall, it's pretty nice. Now, I've got it over here charging right now. I'm going to take it off the charger. And essentially, this is what it looks like. It's got a very classic look to it. Looks like a traditional wristwatch, which I like that a lot. I wanted a classic because it's got standard leather bands, whereas the non-classic S2 has proprietary bands. And I've tried to get parts from Samsung before. For example, I lost my charger to this one. I couldn't get it from Samsung. I had to go to eBay. So Samsung, as much as I really like them as a company, I like their products, they seem to have this bad habit of pretending they didn't make something a year later, so it makes it hard to get. So I didn't want a proprietary wristband on this. If I want to keep this a couple of years, I wanted a band that I go to any jewelry store and get, and the classic meets that criteria. They sort of took a cue off Apple, except instead of adding in the crown you twist, they've got this bezel that moves. That's kind of nice. It still runs Tizen, and to be fair, I mentioned before that Tizen doesn't have a lot of apps available for it, and that is true. But one thing Tizen has over Apple Watch, over Android Wear, is battery life. Battery life, battery life, battery life, and that is so important in a wearable device. I've had this now for over a year, maybe a year and a half. I can go 3, maybe 4 days before I have to charge this, and I love that because, you know, it's bad enough at nighttime. I got to remember to charge my, especially when I'm traveling for work, got to charge the laptop, got to charge the tablet, got to charge my mobile devices, and now the watch or something else. And if you've been in hotels, outlets are sometimes a bit of a challenge to get enough of them. So I do appreciate the fact that I can go a couple days with a charge on this. So for right now, I've got this, and I did notice on this particular Tizen device, as a comparison with this one, there are a few more apps available. So I do have an Uber app on here. I saw a couple new weather apps, definitely a lot more watch faces. What I don't see is an app for American Airlines or even Delta, which is my American's my primary carrier, so I would have liked to have seen that. They do have an airline app for KLM, so if you're a KLM flyer, you're good. I think that's about the only airline app I saw. There's nothing for Hertz rental cars or Marriott hotels. I would like to see those apps. So I just bought this. I got 14 days to decide whether I want to keep it or pay the restocking fee and bring it back. So I'm going to use this for a couple weeks. And I'm going to see if it fits in with my daily workflow. I'm going to see if it actually adds, I mean, I paid $400 for this, right? So I'm going to see if it adds $400 of value to my life. If it doesn't, I'm going to take it back. If it does, I'll certainly keep it. Because again, just based on aesthetics, I like it. But when you're buying a wearable watch, is so much more than aesthetics, right? It's got to add functionality and be useful as well. I did try the heart rate monitor on it. That works much better than my Gear S2, which was always, you kind of had to be a little more finicky with it to get it to work right. This one worked without any fuss. So far, I've tried the voice control on it twice. Once it worked, once it didn't, so that still remains to be seen. Things, remember, Samsung giveth, Samsung taketh away. One of the things they took away from this that was on a previous model, there's no more infrared blaster, and there's no camera on this. So if you like those features, this is not the watch for you. They took those away and charged more. Yay! I wish I could do that. Charge more and offer less features. But one thing they did add in here is this is now a cell phone. And so it's kind of like the Gear S they had. I could actually make phone calls on this without using my cell phone. I could leave my cell phone home, go out, pick up my wrist, and make a phone call, either using the onboard microphone and speaker or using a Bluetooth headphone. So that's kind of neat. Now, I couldn't do that on my old Gear 2, but this did have a Bluetooth speaker in it, so I could pair it to my phone and make calls. Very similar, almost identical actually, to what Apple does with their devices. Unfortunately, with the Gear S2, S2 and the S2 Classic, if you just get the standard one without the cellular network, you can't do that. They didn't put a microphone in it or a speaker, I don't think. Actually, I don't think they put a speaker. I'm trying to remember what it was. But so if you want to do phone calls, you have to get the 3G version, which is what this is. Now, I paid cash. I could technically discontinue the cellular service, and then I could use it as a Bluetooth device. It just seems a little crazy you have to do that. But so far, like I said, from a visual perspective and from a feel perspective, I like it a lot. So we'll see what happens with the apps. So anyway, this is my first impressions. Well, this is my telling a little bit about my watch hobby. Maybe a little obsessive, right? And my first impressions of the Galaxy Gear S2 Classic. More to come as I play with it. If you like this video, go ahead and click subscribe. I got a lot more coming. I still got to review that. I got that Amazon Echo. Amazon Echo. Oh my God, I'm losing it. I got the Amazon Echo I want to talk to you about. And I got a few more server videos with Unraid and QNAP to talk about. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and click subscribe. I'd love you to subscribe. If not, just click like. Please feel free to leave your comments and feedback in the box below. Until next time, thanks.